Savage Mind Podcast. I hope anyone who tunes in, I hope you haven't gave up on waiting for my podcast, which, again, I've been over in the last handful of episodes or more. That is only on YouTube for now. And again, like today, I'm in my truck. Does it say where you have to do a podcast from? I've did it from a lot of different places. And I'm not going to get into what my goals were and how far I'm off on where I plan for this podcast to be. But as I've said so many times in most episodes, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to give up. I may get behind. I may get frustrated. It may not be where I want to be. I may have planned to be on the 100th guest by now, and I'm on 0. I've been on other people's podcasts, if you've tuned into them, just a few. But as I will say always, we do what we have to until we do what we want to. This is where I'm at right now. This is where I've been at for a while. I can't hold anybody else responsible but myself. I can hold my resources and situation, which is still my responsibility. There are other things that have been obstacles and roadblocks in the way constantly. But even if it's other aspects of life for myself, even when I know this is not even speaking for podcasting, other things in my life, whether it be work related, whether it be something I'm networking with, people that don't keep their word, people that let you down, they don't keep their obligations and commitments, and I do. At the end of the day, if I just blame myself, then that's what I've do my best to do. I didn't always do that. Then I have no one to hold responsible except myself. When in reality, on some of these things I'm talking about, it wasn't me. We know this. It's easy to blame other people, but there's people who are deliberately out there that work against us. Most people don't want to admit that. They deliberately throw a wrench in our plans, make things difficult, just simple as not keeping your word. And even if you can't keep your word, not communicating. But at the end of the day, I'll go, I fucking trusted them. I chose to trust them again. I chose to say, okay, I understand things come up, life happens. But when it's just consistently all the time, it's not an accident. So, I'm not going to call this catching up because I never feel caught up. I'm going to call, just like I'm doing a lot of things in my life, I call it getting back to square one, which means what some people view as progress. There's a lot of things in our life that are making progress again. And the plan is not just to get it back to square, to get it past that level. Leveling up on everything, every aspect of life, health, mental and physical, wealth, real wealth. We'll talk about that later. I've talked about that in the past. Experiences, training, knowledge. For me, podcasts, my ultra training, my family, experiences, traveling, and getting this podcast. No matter how many setbacks, I know a lot of people who their podcast that I love their podcast that I've met at podcast events, and they have the technical experience and the knowledge, and I feel like their podcast, some of them, I wish they wouldn't have stopped doing them, but nearly everybody I was networking with in that community, none of them are doing it no more. And that could be where somebody would say, why are you? I said, because I'm not built the same way. I've said this many times at this point in life, everything that I'm doing, that I work towards, that I strive towards, everything that my life revolves around my purpose. My purpose don't revolve around my life. My life doesn't revolve around a job. It doesn't revolve around finances. It doesn't revolve around making money. It sounds crazy in this world, I know. My purpose and my mission is so important to me that the way I look at it, it's all I got. It can either be the last thing no matter what happens, all my plans, the last thing I do, or it won't ever happen. My legacy is more important to me. See this? When you're relentless, it's just what you do. You don't consider other people's opinions. You learn when you have grit and discipline and you're relentless. You learn to drown out the noise. You don't even let there's a point that in life, I think I'm speaking for a lot of people, there's people that could reel us in. They draw you out of character. Occasionally it still happens. We're only human beings. I know that for me. So it happens a lot less these days. I feel like that's amateur shit. And there's a lot of things I'm an amateur at. That wouldn't be one of them. And I tell people this. The things I do now are not necessarily what I would have seen myself doing at this age. Not unhappy with where I'm at all. Unsatisfied, yes. Forever grateful, never satisfied. And that has nothing to do with material things. It has nothing to do with making money. It's the impact. It's my legacy. My purpose and mission, my calling. Whatever anybody thinks or don't think about it is so important to me that I tell people everything that I do, and my family knows this, I work on and strive towards and focus on the things that I think that make the most impact at this point in life. 15, 20 years ago, this is not what I would have seen myself doing. I still work a full-time job, obviously. The plan is to be able to do these things full-time. Never said I had to make a lot, said I have to be able to make a living, keep food on the table, keep the lights on. That seems crazy to some people that I'm willing to reduce my life like that because my mission and purpose is so important. And the plan would be, if I was more serious about it, I would be focused on it more. True. I've let a lot of frustrations, and this is the holidays. I love the lights. I love the energy. I love the movies. I love my family. But it's not a good time of year for a lot of people, and I'm one of those people. I'm not a Scrooge. I'm not a Grinch. I don't live my life for the holidays and Christmas, just like I don't live my life for work. I don't live my life to please other people. I don't live my life for other people. As important as my family is to me, a lot of people don't get this. My purpose has a lot to do with my family and what I'm building, what I'm striving towards. But my purpose is not just my family. People that don't understand their purpose don't understand. You got to have something outside of that. Only some people get that. It's like putting yourself first. There's a lot of people out there that put themselves first that are very selfish individuals. There's a difference between putting your mental and physical health first above being selfish. There's a difference. And for the majority of our life, I know me and my mamacita, we haven't put ourselves first. We haven't. When you don't put your mental and physical health first, then there's no way you can be at your best for other people. You can't. There's a mentality out there, especially with our generation, especially the older, our generation and older, Generation X. I'll get to that in a minute. I know I've talked about this in the past. Maybe the younger generation don't identify with that because no offense to them, there's a lot of things that the two younger generations, Z, millennials, there's a lot of things that they fucking get right that we don't. But some of them aren't even connected. Some of them are really, I'm not getting into this podcast today, but I think that because they seen so many of us so happy, and the older grandparents generation so happy, so unhappy so long, and us sacrifice so much and put up with so much in relationships and jobs and careers and stuff, and to see that it wasn't worth it. It didn't always work out. And what's working out? Does it mean the house, the cars, your savings, or your retirement? That means it's working out. If your mental and physical health is shit, are you unhappy, you're miserable, or you feel like fucking blowing your fucking head off, or you feel like jumping off of a fucking bridge? What is it? Again, these are questions we have to ask ourselves. But I think our generation, because of the generation that raised us, we were taught to put up with so much shit that the younger generations don't want to put up with nothing. I get it. I get it. I'm envious. I'm jealous. I wish I would have got this when I was fucking younger. No fucking doubt. They fucking, you guys in the millennials and Gen Z, y'all fucking get that. Same way with fucking jobs. When you know it's not going nowhere and you don't see advancement and progress in the future, there's a whole thing. Go study it. I think it's like, I studied this like fucking 10 years ago, where the average time where you're usually capped and you're usually plateaued at a job most of the time. And in some careers, again, not getting in specifics, if you're a business owner or if you're a surgeon, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever, we're talking about 80% of working people And it still doesn't mean that you have a degree or you don't have a degree, whether that even matters. That has nothing to do with your own version of success at all. Again, I try not to get that detailed in it, but you almost have to, because people like to pick things apart. And if you want to pick something apart of anything that I say, fucking go ahead. I probably won't even respond, honestly. We were taught to take so much and stay too long. And then when you stay too long in any job or relationship or anywhere that you're not valued, you'll never, when it ends, if it ever does, it won't be on your terms. It never is on our terms. When you stay beyond the time, and maybe you wasn't valued in the beginning. Maybe you wasn't appreciated in the beginning. You overlooked it. Because we were often taught the longer you stay, the longer you put up with it, that eventually it'll pay off. I always heard this. I even have friends that still say this in my age group. Will it be worth it in the end? They're talking about a marriage that's always been off and on or problematic, or a job that you got so much time in, don't want to give up benefits, retirement, vacation, PTO time. Is it worth it in the end? I said, I just asked some friends about this a while back. I dearly love. I call them brother and sister. I said, the end of what? They looked at me. I said, the end of your life? I mean, we have to ask ourselves that. But at the same time, it's like, I think that two younger generations often don't have no emotional attachment to anything. And I think that's became a cool thing. I relate it to this. I tell people our age of men and the older age of men, too much fucking pride. That sounds crazy. Too much fucking ego. Too much pride, too much ego has gotten in the way of so much progress, of so many relationships, of so many goals, of so many things that have people and situations and arrangements that have went to their grave and never possibly have gotten reconciled or fixed. Some stuff's beyond reconciliation and beyond repair, no doubt. Some things didn't need to be repaired. Some relationships didn't need to be repaired. Some people didn't need to be repaired. But Generation X, baby boomers, too much pride, too much ego, especially with the men. I almost think the younger generation don't have enough. I believe from what I study, having even kids in that age group, that I think they're lack so many social skills, and they don't know how to be bored living, even if they're not spoiled with things and money, an instant gratification world, everything's instantaneously, everything's immediate, everything's no patience, that they don't have a connection with anything. And I think on the opposite end, maybe we had a connection with too much. I'll dive into that later. So I want to talk about this today, and I'm sure I'll forget this. First of all, whatever y'all's version of Christmas and the holidays was, I hope it was a good one. People celebrate in different ways. Some people don't celebrate, depending on religious beliefs, depending on finances, depending on, some people are experiencing loss or have experienced loss. Some people have been gone a long time in their lives that were loved ones, and usually the holidays bring it to the surface again. I know that's true for me. I always stay on top of my emotions and feelings. I can't pick and choose when I decide to be disciplined. It has to be all the time. I couldn't let myself go for a week. I don't know how I'd be. I don't know how I'd end up. I don't want to find out. I don't want to find out what it's like to give up. I've never had that luxury of being able to give up and someone come to my rescue. And sometimes it'd be easier just to fucking give up and be weak. It's easier to be a weak man. It is. It's not respectable. They can't be trusted. But suicide rates are highest this time of year, especially among men. And I think that usually the strongest people are overlooked. I was going to dive into that podcast today, but I want to talk about this. So, got Christmas just happened. New Year's is coming up. So, whenever y'all see this podcast, within the next 24 hours, this man right here, myself, Savage Mind, Mr. Savage, Jason, Asshole, Mr. Offensive, Mr. Relentless, my brother, the man, I love that guy, Pop, Dad, people love me, people that love to hate me. I turn 50 in the next 24 hours. And I got so much to say on this. I'm sure I won't cover it all in this. And I just thought about it. 50 used to sound so old. To some of y'all, it probably still does. So, second mimosa today. Just got out of the shower. Did my dog duty this morning. Yeah, just talking real shit. Did my dog duty this morning. Went and got a haircut. I waited, I was off my haircut schedule for about a month. Just wasn't feeling, didn't give a fuck. Went to the gym and then went and did a base run. And went to the store. In a nutshell, let me tell you, entire life of having your birthday 5 days after Christmas and a day before New Year's Eve fucking sucks. Look, I got over. Look, we're not gift buyers. I've not been that in a long time, and even though we even haven't been able to do this the last couple of years, what I'm about to talk about is, I tell my family the only thing that's a gift for us, the only thing that's a gift. Because debt's never a gift. Even if we had the cash to pay for it, doesn't necessarily we need to spend it on a day or two a year. It's a day or two a year. Look, I think about this. Christmas is in some ways is a magical time of year. New Year's, new beginnings. That's what we say. It's what we believe. And they just fucking keep going by like this. And you wake up and your fucking life's half over, more than half over. If you're my age, your life's more than half over. Some people think that's being negative. That's not being negative. The average life expectancy of men right now, I believe, is 75. A little bit older for women. I think it's 70, 77, 78. It changes sometimes, but I think right now it's 75. 25 years ago was the year 2000. If you're in our age group, give or take a few years, less or more, doesn't that seem fucking unnerving? The year 2000 was 25 years ago, was a quarter century ago. In 25 years, I'll be 75 if I'm alive. That seems insane to me. Now, most of the time, I don't mind saying this. Maybe not all the time. Again, we look different at different times. Do I think I look my best right now? No, I don't. Am I confident all the time? Yeah, confident. But there's times I know, like, God damn, I felt good. I look good. I had a good tan. I felt my body felt good. My mind felt good. My beard looked good. Other times you don't. I just got done training, got out of the shower, been hammering all day, messing with my dogs, doing all the shit I do. And I've been kind of in a, whatever lately. I don't like the weather. We can't help it. I don't like the weather. I don't like the time change. Right now it's whatever time, not even 5 o'clock. It's already getting dark. It slows me down, man. And so maybe you need to slow down. No, maybe you need to shut the fuck up. We're not supposed to be doing less of the things that make us who we are. We're supposed to be doing more. I just posted today. The real cost of everything, the real cost of your goods, your material things, your toys, the real cost of everything is what you got to give up for. It's your time. It's your time with your loved ones. It's your mental and physical health. It's everything rolled into one of what we're willing to compromise for more stuff. Most people aren't willing to have enough honest conversation with themselves about whatever car they drive, whatever house they have, whatever savings they're trying to, whatever toy they want, whatever they're trying to accomplish with that, because that's what the vision of social media and the idea of success is. Most people won't be honest with themselves about the time that they're giving up. And if you're giving up that much time, I've done it. I lived it. Not an expert on it, but the time and the things I gave up wasn't worth it. It wasn't. And that's on a very mediocre level for most people, no doubt. But I can't get that time back. I might live to be a fucking 100, but I want to live to be 100 and be able to do the things I love to do. I always tell my family, if I can make a trade right now, and I had to make a bargain that I was going to be, okay, we'll give you 83 or 85 good years. And You're going to be healthy and be able to thrive and do all the things you like to do, modified, of course. I already have to modify it now. Or you could live to be 100. It's probably going to be in a nursing home, probably going to be in a wheelchair. Mostly all your loved ones will be gone. Because let me tell you, if you live to be close to 100, mostly everybody in your family, maybe including your children and all your siblings, well, they'll all be gone. Most likely. It's very rare that if you're getting our age, when I mean our age, what is that? 40 years old is 10 years younger than me now. 60 years old is the same amount of time apart. Crazy, right? 5 years, I'm gonna get a senior citizen discount. That's fucking insane, man. I feel, again, going back to looks, maybe most of the time people think on a good day, I'm about 5 or 6 years younger. I'm cool with that. I'm not trying to look a certain age. I just try to be who I am. I probably feel like I'm in my late 30s. Honestly, there was a time in my mid to late 30s I felt worse than this. Not because of partying, drugs. I've never done drugs. Just because of my life, how much I worked. No offense, the relationship I was in. Just different things that was just taking a fucking toll on me, and I was allowing it. And nobody listened to me until I made the changes. Nobody really took note until I fucking cut the cord loose on some things. And then when I started cutting the cord loose and I started burning bridges and I started fucking cutting snakes' head off, I didn't fucking stop. And now I really still don't stop. There's people I really care about that's not in my life no more, and I don't wish them bad. I love them. They may not ever be in my life again. Hey, you get our age. Me, I haven't had family as far as parents in a long time. I know y'all have heard this. I never met either one of my grandfathers. My dad was dead right before I turned 4 years old. Those things have never came out of my mouth. The only time it's a reference is with my kids, our children, and our grandkids. I had people who were role models in my life, coaches, and I had a stepdad for a while. I had nothing against him. I mean, he was present. He was there. He wasn't abusive, wasn't anything like that. He just was there. I mean, it wasn't that I necessarily couldn't call him dad. I guess since my dad got killed right before my 4th birthday, I never felt like anybody was my dad. And I also feel like that's a lot of reasons why I've never been too much about listening to men. I did a podcast on this, and I would touch base talking to the wife last night about some of the other things that even at my age I never thought about that click with me now. And I said, you know what, I never thought about this. And I was telling her about it while we were watching a movie, and then she goes, you know what, that makes sense, babe. She known me, even though in the time we've been together over a decade. We've still known each other since we were about 5th or 6th grade. We've known each other majority of our life, and even though we didn't get together till our late 30s, we've known each other most of our life, so we still know each other well. So, I'm not doing nothing for my birthday right now. I was kind of bummed because I was trying to put together, not me, I shouldn't have had to do it. Some of us were trying to put together. We don't have that family that everybody gets in together under one roof. Big table, everything sets. Everybody's getting together and doing all these things. Not saying we haven't done that. We've went on family vacations together to Florida. We've had pool days. But I'm not one of them ones that I don't guilt them into that. Both of our oldest girls had plans. One of them just came back out of the country, and so that was the money that she had saved for a trip, and it was her birthday. You know, one of our girls, my daughter, our daughter, was 29th birthday, and she chose to spend it in the Dominican Republic. Fucking, I'm all for it. I'm pissed because I wasn't there. Not jealous in that way. Pissed because I wanted to be somewhere like that, and I wasn't. One of our other girls, her and a couple of the other grandkids, as their family was in Branson, beautiful place. They chose to spend Christmas down there, and I'm all about it because we didn't plan to be here this week either. The whole plan was to be gone. Now we have it, we can do that now, but it was going to jeopardize the other trips we got planned. And since we're summertime people, I didn't want to jeopardize that. I didn't want to be here because, see, I live a life where if I'm here, I never can feel like I can relax. I got too much shit to do. It's not made up shit to do. Our house is basic by a lot of people's standards. By society standards, it might be below that. It is what it is. But it's done. It's ours. And thing is it's an asset, and I got to finish the work on it for the resources and time and money I have. And it's hard for me to relax here. The only time I relaxed the last few days, we got saturated with rain. Frustrated because I feel like I need to be outside doing something and I need to be moving. I got work to do, and because I'm back to my regular job on Monday. But if it's rain or bad weather, or it's freezing, it slows me down. Then it kind of forces me to slow down. And so this was what I came up with. I said, you know what? When I was a kid, I always wanted a summertime birthday. We have a granddaughter and our twins. Their birthday's a day apart. They're 15 years apart. Our youngest granddaughter and our twins have a day apart birthday in June. Couldn't ask for a better birthday. And the twins don't even care if they have a summer birthday. I'm like, God, there's so much shit you can do. Summertime, man. Pools, rivers, beaches, water parks, barbecuing, cooking out. I don't know if people realize this. Majority of the shit most people enjoy didn't have to be 100-degree weather, but it's during the summer. Then you got the Mamacita. She has a Labor Day birthday. Still a fucking good birthday. Got a grandson's got a March birthday. Well, me and the oldest granddaughter and the daughter, my daughter from previous marriage, all December birthdays. One of them's at the second week in December. Oldest granddaughter's a day after Christmas, and then mine's 4 days. When you're a kid, you still get shit. People acknowledge it. I mean, you don't get fucking 16 or 17 and people don't give a fuck no more. Not that I need them to give a fuck. I tell my wife, Mamacita, sometimes we don't celebrate enough because I'm such a disciplined person that sacrifices, and I don't believe in celebrating everything. I think people celebrate too much. I think they celebrate just, people's like, we're just celebrating life. YOLO, I mean, if people still fucking say that. You only live once, man, and I've had a lot of good times, but some hangovers I don't regret, and I've had some that I do. I'm like, that wasn't worth it. Spent too much money. I got a fucking headache. I'm laid up all weekend. I'm definitely not doing. I don't do this. It's not just age. I really don't do that anymore. Look, I'm drinking right now. You just seen it, drinking mimosa. The point is we spend too much time in reward, not enough time in discipline. We tell ourselves what we think we deserve, and you've heard me say this if you listen to my past podcast. If we all got what we deserved in this life, this world would look a lot different. A lot of people would be trading places. Because I tell my wife all the time, I said, we're not, for the sacrifices that we have made throughout our life before we even got together, for the kind of people we are, for hard as we've worked. I know myself, and my family can contest this. I've sacrificed and had enough put pressure and weight put on me my whole life. I've sacrificed enough for a couple generations. I probably shouldn't even be here. We know we have to examine what's self-inflicted and what's not. I know what I've self-inflicted upon myself, and I know what I didn't ask for. The work we've put in, the sacrifices we made, as unselfish as we have been. If I go back and I tell people this, I don't consider anything bragging. I state facts. There's a difference between being cocky and confident. I don't feel like that I'm cocky at all. Cocky's fake. Confidence there's data to prove. Most real confidence comes from there's data and factual data to prove it. That's where real confidence comes from. I said, if I look at my character, if I look at what kind of son I was, when I still was a son, I don't have any living family members in that category. I only had my mom for the last 25 years, and she died 6 years ago. Let me go back to this. If you're in our age group, give or take a few years, if you're getting close to 50, whatever, I don't know anybody's relationship with their parents. Some people have no relationship with their biological parents. Sometimes don't even consider their parents. Whatever your version of parents are, your loved ones, whoever raised you, it could be anybody. It could be aunt, uncle, grandparent, a sibling, whatever. If you're our age, you have to know you're on borrowed time with them. If we're setting at half a century mark, whoever you have that's older that raised you, you have to know you're not going to have them very much longer, or what kind of health they would be in. Sad, that's it, but that's the truth. Most people don't expect to outlive their children. That's a real tragedy. I mean, that's different. Or their grandchildren, or a younger sibling. We're not talking about people leaving this life unexpected. We're talking about start getting up in your mid-40s, around 50. You have to know that your parents, whatever version of that is, if they're around 70-something, they're already getting close to the life expectancy. Most of my friends or people I know in general's parents that are past 75, for the most part, most of them aren't doing very well. It just happens one day. Here we are, because it's like, oh, time is short. Life is so short. They're growing up so fast. I think it's because a lot of times we're focused on the wrong things, man. We all do it. Sometimes I don't even know what happened in 10 years, man. And I was like, I wasn't doing anything wrong. I was working out, paying bills, trying to make plans, trying to get ahead. And before you know it, a fucking decade's gone, man. And, you know, if you're us, before you know it, all your kids are grown. Maybe they make time for you, maybe they don't. And before you know it, your grandkids are already getting old. We got one grandkid that's a double digit now. I told her the other day, I said, before you know it, she's a teenager, man. We only got so much time to do this shit. They love us and they care about us, but they're gonna start having friends, and they might start dating somebody, have a boyfriend or girlfriend as a teenager. They start getting in activities, and before you know it, they don't have time for us. That's just the way it is, man. So I feel like that the time I do have is very fucking important, and I'm not willing to compromise very much of that. And a lot of people that try to steal your time and want their priorities to be your priorities. It could be your employer, especially your employer. They want their priorities to be more important. It bothers them because you won't put that first. Anyway, evaluating 50. So we were going to go out. I said, you know what? This is what I decided. I always wanted a summertime birthday. And at my age, you can't actually change your date of birth, but you can change your birthday. Now, some people say, well, if it ain't on the actual day or their actual week, then it doesn't count. That's stupid. Well, how about these fucking people say it's my birthday month and they celebrate all month? Some of them feel justified. A lot of people don't get this. If you celebrate that much, that long about everything, there's a deficit in your life somewhere that you need to focus on, and you lack discipline and you lack focus. I don't want to fucking party all month for my birthday. I want to do something fucking fun, cool, and memorable, and even if I have to do a different date. So we got some trips planned that we've been intending and planning to make up for a few years. And now we're getting in a position where we can do it. So what I decided was, you know, if it's not the beach, it'd be too hard to coordinate everybody to the beach. And we're beach lovers, but for some people, there's only so much they can do there. I don't care what I'm doing at the beach. If it's reading a book, boogie boarding, drinking, playing washers or cornhole or whatever the fuck it is, that's where I want to be. So it's either that or we're going to do an adult water park. I'm going to move it to like May or June, and I'm going to invite everybody I think's important and some other people. I'm letting the other handful of people know if they want to come. You let them know this is the dates. We're going to do it all weekend. It's going to be adult. I mean, kids can come. Bring your, the places I'm looking at. You can bring your cooler in. You bring your own beer. Maybe you can camp, or you can get a hotel room. And we're going to get down there on a Friday, and we're going to do it till Sunday. I feel like a lot of people who have December birthdays, like myself, it's overlooked. I mean, people shouldn't be broke after Christmas, but if they're not broke, they're fucking stressed out. And I was getting back to that. I was thinking, now I know what I know, and I have the tools and the knowledge I have. Think about what a revenue source fucking Christmas is. I mean, yeah, this is the things I choose. Let's go ice skating. Let's go somewhere. Let's go look at lights. Let's go. We went to San Antonio weekend before last. San Antonio, Texas. I'll talk about that later. I don't even want to talk about that right now. Beautiful place, but there's a lot of corrupt shit going on down there. And I'd rather be doing what I want to do, even if I have to move the date. So what I tried to do was if we're going to do a dinner, then let's do all of our kids and grandkids, and maybe try to grab my brother and nieces and nephew. That's really all my family. Nobody can hurt my feelings in this life except those people. That is it. They're the only ones that have effect on me. Not saying they did. We couldn't get it together. And there's only like 2 or 3 of us going to be able to show up, because 2 of them, our 2 oldest girls that don't live in the house, just got back from trips. And then one of the other grandkids was with her dad. She wasn't there. And I didn't really want to do that, man. I was like, I'm not big. Look, Fuck going out to eat. I don't even really want to do that. But if we're going to do it, I want everybody here. It's one time. And then we'll celebrate, when I said like May or June. Think about that. For those of you that have birthdays in late December, early January, or anytime in December, if you're a summertime person thinking about just saying, hey, we're going to celebrate 5 or 6 months from now. Y'all can come if you want to. It'd be a lot more enjoyable, because I feel like everything I've had to do my whole life, and most birthdays since I got older, I haven't celebrated. We had a good one for my 40th and the Mamacita's 40th. That's been a decade ago. And but she also has a birthday we can do more shit outside. So yeah, I work tomorrow. Tomorrow's my actual birthday, and I didn't take off because it's Monday and it's hard to plan anything, and it's December 30th. So when I was younger, I had skating parties, and it was fun. In the 80s, the skating rink was a place. I still love it. I got all my grandkids and trying to get them. We all just got them skates for Christmas, and we're not big on gifts. And I'm only buying them something. The only things I buy them are things they're going to do with us. I'm not buying them what their grandparents are buying them. I'm not buying what their parents are buying them. I'm buying what I want them to have. What we want them to have. Stuff that's useful, stuff that's functional. Most likely stuff to be used outside, or some kind of exercise or recreational, and have some fun with it. They don't get to pick. That's what we pick. If they don't like it, don't take it. That's my mentality. They got enough of the other shit. Phones, iPads, fucking, what's the other shit called? I just went blank. One of our grandkids always got it. The iPad and the tablet. Yeah, that's enough of that shit. It's real. It's not going anywhere. We're not going to be able to keep them away from it. But we can control it when they're with us. So, the best things in life are outside. Just the way it is. I don't remember my best day of staying in the house. I remember all the best days of my life were spent outdoors. And so that's what we're doing. I just decided, hey, there's only just 2 or 3 of us getting together. I'd rather not even do that. If they're not home and they don't have it, let's just, I get it, man. One of them just got back yesterday. They're exhausted. It's a pretty good road trip. I'd rather just wait. Does that make sense? So no celebrating right now. I was kind of bummed a little bit, just because that's what, there's a handful of things in this life that make me happy. And our kids and our grandkids being together, that's one of them. Don't have to be at the house. We don't guilt them being here for Christmas. They don't have to come to. Everybody's got their own lives. They're doing other things. They got other places they need to go. They got other in-laws. They got other friends and stuff. Fuck, that's the way it goes, man. At this point in life, I know a lot of people. A lot of people I call friends, they call me friends, but I don't hang around nobody. I don't think I have a solid spot with anybody at this point in life. When you're a person like me, you're not willing to compromise your character. You're not willing to have your intelligence insulted. You're not willing to comply very easily. Well, I don't attack anybody. I speak the truth. I live my truth. I live my life through action. I hold myself accountable first, as well as other people. Everyone feels like you're targeting them, and you can never say a name and never target them. You have to be willing to be a lone wolf. There's a reason that the most fake people and the most passive people, the most weak people, no matter how they look on the outside of social media, have more people around them. You can't be real fucking solid and real in this life and be fucking surrounded by a lot of people. It doesn't fucking work that way. Only motherfuckers like me or we're in the same mentality that live similar get that shit. You haven't done nothing to nobody. They all feel offended. Discipline is a high level of discipline, and having grit and relentlessness is fucking offensive to people. They don't. You're a walking You are a walking example of what they despise because they're not it. That's the truth. Because they know that certain things don't affect us. We're not in competition with you. We don't compare. Here's where I'm at, why I don't hang around a lot of people anymore. I'm probably going to miss a few things. I can't be around people who are judgmental. I can't be around people who are one-uppers. I can't be around people who are macho, who are egotistical. I can't be around people who fucking have no goals, have no drive, no ambition. At the same time, I can't be around superficial, materialistic people. I can't be around people who are fucking stone cold drunks or fucking drug addicts. At the same time, I don't want to be around people who are fucking prudes and sticks in the mud. They can't even fucking enjoy themselves, have even if they choose not to partake or indulge in it, can't have a few beers and enjoy something, or enjoy the music and a few drinks and relaxing without it being a fucking issue. I can't be around nobody my anxiety acts up around, because when my anxiety acts up, that's a fucking red flag that I can't trust them. I can't be around people who are in competition. I can't be around people who fucking play too much. I can't be around people who are fucking racist. I can't be around anybody who views me as competition, because I don't view anybody as competition. Jealous. I don't want to be around toxic couples. I probably forgot a few. That pretty much eliminates everybody. There's like a fucking handful of people. So I just choose solitude most of the time. You have to be willing to be bored and be lonely sometimes. You know, I'm not lonely. You have to be willing to be bored to focus. I'd rather be that than be poorly surrounded. I think most people would be more willing to be poorly surrounded. They just don't know they're poorly surrounded, or they don't want to be honest with themselves. People don't want to be alone with their thoughts. And if you can't hold an honest conversation with yourself, you definitely can't be honest with nobody else. And I see people for what they really are. You have to spend time with me to see how quick I put things together and how clear my vision is. It fucking takes people back. There's a lot of skills I don't have, but the ones that I do have, I'm very confident about them. I'm rarely ever off the mark. Judge of character is different than judging people. Remember that. So looking back at 50 years, don't feel like it, man. I feel like a lot of people I know feel older. I think about all the things that I could have did different. Again, when stuff turns into regret, you can't change it. So everything I'm about, if you know me, I try to have less regret at this point in life. Setbacks, obstacles, do-overs, go back to square one, scratch that idea, got to start over. That's part of life. I've done it more times than I can count. But at this point, I look at it, like I told my family, I go, we're talking about some specific people the other day. So I asked a person, what is it? I don't care what their problem is for me. These people said, yeah, they can't ever say why. I said, is my character in question? I said, and they got ready to answer, no, it's not. I said, hold on, let me finish. Do I owe anybody anything? They're standing there looking at me. A handful of them. I said, let me start at scratch. My work ethic's never been in question. My dependability, my reliability, what kind of son I've been when I was a son, what kind of spouse I am, what kind of brother I am, what kind of friend I have been. My actions match my words. What kind of father I've been. What kind of stepfather, or just father in general. What kind of grandfather, pop I am. Am I a man of my word? Have I fucked over a friend? Do I owe anybody anything? Have I put a knife in somebody's back? I went down the list of a couple more things. Everybody looked at me and said, now I've used this universal on a lot of things. I was glad I had them people there to ask them, what is it? I asked them what it is because I know what it is. It's how I represent, how I carry myself. All of them look like they swallowed a fucking frog. No, none of those things. I said, and I stand on that. And some people cannot stand that. None of those things are in question for me. So at this age, all of those things about my character, they're solid as a motherfucker. That's what makes me who I am. That's why I'm confident. It's got nothing to do with what I buy, what I own, what I drive, what I live in, how much I make, my salary, what I do for a living. It's who the fuck I am. And there's a very small percentage of us out there. Do I have regret? People say I don't have no regrets. Fucking lying, man. We all got fucking regrets. We all got stress. But we can manage what it is. Say if you have a stress-free life, there's no such fucking thing as a stress-free life. There's no such thing as having no regret. The idea is to correct it, acknowledge it, be honest with yourself so you don't have more. I do eliminate as much stress as I can, and that came with eliminating a lot of people, filtering them out. I don't add any of them things to my life anymore. I used to realize I had to be honest with myself. I added a lot of drama and stress to myself without even realizing I was doing it. I do not do that no more, and I haven't done that in a long time. There's people that I really care about, that I love, that are not in my life anymore. And it wasn't a conversation or a falling out. It was just silent. I'm not fucking with them no more. Everything I evaluate now is it in alignment with my life, my purpose? Is it going to help all of us? Is it going to help everyone? Can we both build from this? Is there something positive in it? Am I going to enjoy it? Am I going to have fun? Is there a result? That's crazy. Most people aren't going to have those honest conversations because you might be filtering out everyone you know, including your family, especially your family sometimes. So, blood makes you related. Blood doesn't make you family. So, I think about my life at 50 being just things, like on one aspect, I thought my life would look different. And on another aspect, I'm so glad it don't look like it could have looked for a while. Does that make sense? I'm blessed and I'm grateful. I'm a wealthy man with love in the people I have, not financially. But I'm not done yet. I wake up every day and what my concern is running out of time. That my legacy and my impact on my loved ones and whoever I can impact, that I run out of time and don't have time. I don't wake up thinking I may not have time to get the car I want. I may not have time for somebody to see what house I got built or how much money I make or me climbing up a ladder at work or whatever it fucking is and trying to get in a spot. Now, I don't wake up and think, do I have enough time? Do I have enough time to do what I'm going to do in my plans in this life? Everything that encompasses my mission and my purpose. I think 46 years without a father, I don't know what that's like. My entire life without grandfathers. Just things, a lot of people wouldn't be this transparent. I think I never did a drug. In the past, alcohol has caused me some problems at times. Yeah, it has. It hasn't in a long time. Usually that was times I was either younger, I was going through something, and I got it under control myself. That's why I never say, I quit drinking. Because it doesn't affect anything in my life. There was a time it did, and when it did, I addressed it. No legal trouble, no abuse, no any of that. Not saying it couldn't have been. We've all did stuff. Even people out there that are in positions of authority and power, or maybe even in law enforcement, of any kind of, it could be a lawyer, you could be a DA. I know people all walks of life. Like I tell people, we've all did shit. Doesn't mean we got caught for it. Whether it was on purpose or just out enjoying ourselves. And there's people that the first few times they did something, they got in trouble. I've never been to prison. Just things like this I think about. I think about when I was a freshman in high school. I was always a decent athlete. Not outstanding fucking super athlete. I was reasonably above average. When I was a freshman in high school, like I said, I got in a lot of fights. It was rough growing up, and I did some time in the youth correction. I was on juvenile probation almost all the way through high school. I did that 6-9 months, whatever it was, and didn't seem to bother me too bad. I still went in there and didn't get punked out and anything. That was 33 years ago. I haven't had any. I heard someone say the other day, we were talking, they said, let me reference this. People remember where they left off from you. If you haven't seen somebody since you was a teenager and you're 40, the last thing they remember is that. And I was explaining this to somebody. I said, they were kind of referencing in a way like, when you had this bad time or you went through your rough patch. I was asking, what rough patch? What are you talking about? I said, when I was a fucking teenager for a couple of years, not even that long. I did a lot of shit, got a lot of fights. There's a lot of shit we could have got in trouble for. We didn't. Never did drugs. Never was a thief. Never did any of that. They kind of looked at me and I said, because I've been responsible my whole fucking life. I said, let me remind you, I'm 49. I retired from a job, what I call retirement. I left there at 20 plus years. I was 39 or 40, somewhere in there. Between what I'm doing right now and that, at 49, that's 31 years of my life. That takes me to 19 right there. Even if I was rough in school and things like that, I said, never did drugs. I never went to prison. I played sports and held a job as long as before I was even old enough to fucking legally work, and I lied about my age because you could get away with it then. I said, I'm 49. I've turned in 35 years of work this year. I played sports my whole life. I bought my first home when I was fucking 20 years old. I moved out at 16. I was present in, no matter what the situation was, what happened with any of my children. I said I never was a bad example. I wasn't involved, Dad. I was involved in everything they did, sports. I said I bought homes. I worked the same job their entire life. I went to their games. I coached. I went to parent-teacher conferences. I didn't keep none of my knucklehead friends around. I said I was always I don't feel like I was good enough. I don't feel like I did well enough, but I mean, there's a lot of years I took care of my mother when I was young and taking care of my family myself. And then when she got older and got sick, she wasn't that old when she died, 68, I still took care of her. I said, my brother, I'm proud of my only brother right now, but my brother's thriving, and we're over 13 years apart. There was a time I was the best father I could be to him too. I said, I've never, no matter how outspoken and how controversial and how profound I am, I said, I've never gotten fired from a fucking job. I've left, I've quit. I said, then again, 31 years is 2 jobs. I'm 49. All those other jobs, high school, in between, stuff like that. I said, so I don't get what y'all are saying. I haven't had any bad phase. You mean some of us have struggled more than some of y'all have had in life? That person looked at me. I didn't think about that. Of course you haven't. I said, privilege is invisible to those who have it. You shouldn't have to apologize for it. I said, but I haven't had no rough patches. As in those things. I never went through that phase. I never went through a drug phase. I never went through a getting in trouble phase as a teenager. What, a year or two as a teenager? Again, not even 2 years. 30-something years ago, and that never happened. That was it. It was over with. Because I always had to be responsible. Why? Because I knew no one was going to show up for me. The reason some people are like they are is because y'all showed up for them too much. Some of y'all have too much help and too many people. That sounds fucking crazy, but they do. That's why it takes them so long to get it together, or they never do. I knew I would be homeless, dead, or in prison really quick. And that was trying to play sports and work a job all through high school. There were certain things at the time we got out of high school that wasn't in our mind. We had our ambitions and plans and dreams were no less than some of the other people we know. Our framework was different at home. It wasn't even in our mindset. Our mindset was we need to hit the ground running. We need to make money. We need to get a place. So what's your vision? What's your idea of success? What's your opinion of success? If I think about my life, like I said, father get murdered at a young age, no men around, mom poverty level. Again, I never even seen my mom drive a vehicle. She never drove a car. And I was with her and my grandmother. She didn't either. Left home at 16 on foot. Ended up in prison on drugs. Finished high school. Thought I was going to go to, junior college for a little while. That didn't even last a couple months. Not even a full semester. And at least in my head, I still wanted to play football somehow, some level. I already had a family. Really couldn't do that. Kept a job 21 years by 39. Didn't get in any legal trouble. Didn't have any substance abuse problems. And a long time I didn't even drink. If you have problems every time you drink, drinking ain't the problem. You have other problems. And I don't have problems every time I drink. At the time, it was a different life, so I just didn't. I worked too damn much anyway. I've been a Little League coach. I've coached multiple, when my kids were younger. I just evaluate. This may be called a regular average guy's life, whatever that is. I'll go think about all the things, people out there that fold, people that are weak, people that cave, people that give up. Like I said, it's easier to be weak. I think about all the things that have happened. I didn't have a father. And, you know, like I said, my mom, nothing against it. I said, even when I was started Little League sports and got up into high school, when I was doing well, you know, my mom might have came 2 or 3 games all through high school. She didn't have a ride, or I moved out of the house, wasn't there, and I didn't even hold it against her. None of my track meets, powerlifting, nobody was there, and I still never felt like I was neglected. Crazy, maybe because I was just used to it. Well, I was involved in everything in my kid's life, and one of my kids didn't turn out that way. I think that most of y'all know that. I said, there are parents that are kids that are a direct result of their environment, what they were raised in. If that was the case, I shouldn't be who I am, and one of my kids wouldn't be. I look at all the people that are gone in my life. Look around. We got our girls, we got our grandkids. I'm blessed. Got my mama Sita, my wife. In spite, this is what some of y'all hate to admit, there are exceptions to the rule. And people like myself are exceptions to the rule. Came from a 1-parent household, parent got murdered, lived in the housing projects where I was the minority when I was a kid. I was one of the only white kids. Didn't have multiple siblings, didn't have no siblings. Didn't have dad, didn't have uncles around. Mom didn't own a car, poverty. Played sports and stuff, because of the way statistics were, got in trouble when I was 15-year-old. Got incarcerated as a 15-year-old for a little while. Got my whole everything sealed on that. It's not on my adult record. I'm being transparent. I was 15. I did what I broke my probation at that time to do. Most people wouldn't talk about this, and my file got sealed, and I had it checked later, and it did. I was a minor. I didn't commit a felony crime. I was on probation, and I violated it, and gotten some more fights and drank, and so they sent me to a place to see if I'd straighten up. I got out. I wasn't scared of it. I said, don't want to go back. Don't want to be in there. I like my freedom too much. 6 months out of my life at 15, and I came back and got right back in sports and got a job. I did most stuff earlier than everybody else that I knew. I've talked about this in the past. Maybe according to traditional, conventional society standards, my life has kind of went backwards. Where I'm at now, I think by society standards as far as jobs, careers, money, house, savings, retirement, all insurance, all that shit. If you would have knew me at 25 or 30, you'd be like, oh, you're way ahead of the game. Looking at where I'm at now, this is the way some people's mentality is have I been irresponsible? What I was telling that same person, that same conversation, I've been nothing but fucking responsible my whole life. I've been responsible for so many people. It's still the right thing to do, but I don't know that it's paid off. Honestly, it's like saying hard work pays off every time, man. It's not true. It's like saying people get what they work for and they have what they deserve. That's not fucking true. I talked about that in the podcast too. It's not saying some people don't. It's not being negative, but it's like saying everybody that's worked hard. I talked about this in It Must Be Nice podcast. Everybody that sacrificed, been a great person, not done drugs, stayed out of prison, took care of their families. And again, I'm going back to this. I did all of those things. All of those things. No matter what got thrown at me or what got put on me, I still did the fucking right thing. Up till this point, I don't know that it's paid off. The reason some of you don't, or some people don't recognize this, is because you got to skip steps. You got to plug right in. It's not, again, I mean, it's not being an asshole. It's just the truth. You may not recognize those things. If I'd have understood then what I understand now, which is when you start out in a deficit of life, deficit of family, deficit of money, deficit of poverty, deficit of any of that, all deficits of life, go study this shit. You don't really know you're going to have to put in 4 or 5 times or more the work. That's true. If I would have understood that, it would have been fun. Not necessarily working hours, putting in just making money. I would have put in double, triple. I put in double, triple the work, but I wouldn't have fucking had any distractions. Any distractions, any of you that have started your life in a deficit, that you started out with no advantages, no privileges, lack of parents, lack of money, lack of help, lack of support, anything, each one of them are a deficit, and it's going to take you longer. You can't get distracted with drugs. You can't get distracted with alcohol. You can't get incarcerated. You can't give the fuck up. You can't not fucking care. You can't fucking be lazy. It's just the way it is. I didn't do any of those things. And the only thing I can say is it's paid off for the woman I have. It's paid off for our girls and our grandkids. No doubt. I have amazing people. I love them. I'm the most blessed man I know in that area. Other aspects of life, not so much. Again, sometimes 1 year makes sense of your whole life. I'm not unhappy, man. I'm just still not satisfied. It doesn't mean I'm not grateful and not blessed. Don't get it twisted. A lot of our age group was taught if you fucking bitch or have a problem or you don't take everything that's offered that you're ungrateful. That's not fucking true. That's not how a lot of these greedy motherfuckers got in position where they was. They didn't accept it. I'm not a greedy man, but I don't accept it. I ain't never going to accept it. If everything I'm doing is the last thing I do, I'll still do it. Remember when I said that? You know, I'm without a lot of people. Like I said, my whole life without grandfathers and a dad. Don't know what that's like. I got a kid I raised that's not going to be here the rest of their life either. In return, because of that, I got a another granddaughter that I'll never see probably. Is the result of that. Nothing that we did. Nothing that we did. So see, sometimes you do have to suffer the repercussions of other people. Most of the consequences I have suffered in life has not been because of things I've done. It's been because of things of other men done. Before me or after me. But I still got to live with it. I still got to deal with it. And other people count on me. So at 50, not unhappy with my life. I have to smile because I think I shouldn't even be who I am. A lot of people hate it because I am who I am. A lot of people look up to it. I'm thankful for the help I didn't have. I'm thankful that I have the grit and relentlessness I do and the discipline I do. I wouldn't trade what I have for luxuries. I wouldn't. Some stuff hasn't paid off and some stuff has paid off well. There's no recipe. All I know is this. I know I'm on borrowed time. And I don't want to spend my life surviving and getting by. I want to thrive. My version of thriving. So I wake up every day and know that it could be the last. And I hope it's not anytime soon. When I wake up every day, I think about this. Like it's kind of saying if I had the money or when I have the money. You know what I think about? I don't think about I'll buy this house, but I have the house designed I would want if money was an issue and I didn't have to finance it and get another mortgage. I have it designed for us, and it's still pretty reasonable. I think about, man, if money wasn't a factor, I'd open a skating rink somewhere, a skate park, this style of water park, maybe with a skate park here and a BMX track, travel every 90 days or travel most of the time in my life. I want to start a dog, not a dog rescue, a dog sanctuary where any dog that doesn't get adopted can live out their life there. This is what I think about if I have money. My whole family has the option to live where we're going to live at the beach. Don't have to live beside us. You have the option. I'm not going to give it to you. If it wasn't a factor, this is what you have for your budget for a home. I'll help everybody get it. You have to pay your taxes because all of our family is already old enough. All of our children, except the twins, they're already old enough. They've already worked, went to school, put in the work, sacrificed. They've already did all that. They're not getting handed that. These are the things I think about if I have money. But when I think about maybe I got 25 years left, I recommend anybody our age, quit giving up all your time to work. Quit giving up all your energy and stress to things and people that don't fucking matter. Evaluate your life. Not just every year at New Year's Eve. Do it every fucking couple of months. Do it every month. Do it every week, every day, whatever's necessary. You get off track, get back on. and evaluate what's really important to you, not what you've been told needs to be important to you. Evaluate and examine what is important, what is going to make the biggest impact on yourself, your mental and physical health and wealth with you and those around you. Think about how significant or insignificant you're going to be in this life when you aren't here, and fucking get to work. Happy 50th to me. Y'all stay humble and live savage.